Zucchini bread. That is what we are making today. Whether you are growing zucchini or just buy it out of the grocery store, it is amazing. It is so nice and savory, and mine is extra cheesy, smoky kind of flavor as well. Delicious. Okay, first thing we need to do is get our zucchini grated. Whenever you're going to grate zucchini, it's best to start from the smallest end. It just makes it easier to handle that way. So you can just use a standard box cutter. I'm using the small size and just grate it. It's good if you have a bowl that's wide enough for your grater to sit right down in it, okay? So I've got both of these zucchinis to grate up, okay? Okay, we are done grating our zucchini. And when you grate your zucchini, make sure you do it on the smaller side of your box grater. Now, with your hand, we are going to sprinkle some salt on here. You want to mix that salt in to the zucchini. What we're trying to do, as you can see, there is a lot of liquid down in the bottom of this bowl. And what we're trying to do with this salt is not salt the zucchini, but draw out any more liquid that we can. Once you have your zucchini grated like this, you need to put the salt on it, mix it in with your hands like I'm doing now, and then let it sit for about 15 minutes so it can continue to draw that moisture out. So we're gonna set this aside and we'll be back. While our zucchini is over there doing its thing with that moisture, we are going to prepare our pan. We are also going to prepare our wet and dry ingredients. So the first thing I'm going to do is butter my pan. Okay, a lot of people may feel this is not necessary because yes, we are using parchment paper, but I always butter my pan before I put the parchment paper in for two reasons. One, if by chance, for whatever reason, my parchment paper tears, my pan is still buttered. And two, it actually helps the parchment paper adhere to the pan and stay in place. So that's why I do it beforehand, and I do it after just to ensure my cake or whatever bread I'm making is going to come out of this pan like it's supposed to. Believe me, I've had plenty that did not, okay? We all do. All right, so I am just pressing this down. I'm not doing anything fancy. You know, I've shown how you can cut it to size and everything, but personally, I would just rather go ahead and press it down just like this, okay? I am gonna cut some of the extra off of the sides, but not much because we'll need that to lift it back out. Make sure your corners are pressed in when you do this. I just wanna trim a little of this so that it will not touch my oven while it's baking. Doesn't have to be perfect, neat, or anything else. I'm gonna go in and brush my parchment paper. Okay, you're gonna need a couple of more bowls, but go ahead and make sure your oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So the first thing we're gonna do in this bowl is add all of our dry ingredients. You can find the complete recipe with exact measurements, notes, and everything else on my website, pamspreps.com. So we're gonna go in here with our flour. This is all-purpose flour, and I am measuring to an extent. I am not trying to drag it off and make it super perfect. To this, we are adding baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Go ahead and whisk that together to combine, as well as to make sure you get any lumps out of your flour. So make sure you whisk this pretty well. Okay, so now we're going to do our wet ingredients. So we're going to add in some milk, melted butter. I have some oil here. And we're going to add in our eggs. We are also adding in some chopped or minced garlic and vinegar, white vinegar. You want to go ahead and mix this to stir this together. You do not necessarily need a mixer for this. Just go ahead and mix it together to combine all the ingredients. And set this aside. At this point, your oven should be preheated or preheating, and you should have your dry ingredients mixed as well as your wet ingredients already combined. Now we need to get in here. Make sure your hands are absolutely clean because you need to use your hands, okay? Get in here with your hand, and you need to squeeze out the liquid. Because we added the salt, look how much liquid we got out of there, okay? So we don't want all that liquid in our zucchini bread. So we need to take our hand, and as much as you can, and squeeze out the liquid, just like that. Squeeze it out. Small portions work best. And just squeeze that liquid out of there. Let it squeeze out the best you can, okay? You can put it in a tea cloth and squeeze it out. You can put it in paper towels and squeeze it out, or you can use your hand. I prefer to use my hand because what I found with using a tea cloth, all it does is make a green mess on your tea cloth and sticks to it. Then you got to try to scrape it off. Paper towels, even the real good thick ones, seem to tear up in it and it's shredded, okay? So I find it's best to use your hands and put it into another dish. I am using an actual measuring cup for this because you need 2 cups of this zucchini, and you need it once it's packed down. So as I squeeze this out and I put it in here, I will be packing it down until I get 2 cups. Okay, we've got our zucchini here all drained out, and look at how much liquid this is. Okay, so now what we need to do is combine our wet ingredients with our dry ingredients. And this is a crucial moment in this recipe. Your everyday non-stick cookware set can be dangerous, leaking forever chemicals and microplastics right into your food. That's why I like using Chefs Foundry ceramic cookware. The handles come off and on with ease, allowing you to store them by stacking them. This is a wonderful set. It's also the only set that I use when I am cooking my chicken on the stovetop with no cooking oil. I'll link that video in the description so that you can see just how I use these ceramic skillets. Chef Foundry's P600 cookware is super non-stick, scratch resistance, and free of forever chemicals and microplastics. They also have a lot of other goodies that go along with their non-stick ceramic skillets, like these wonderful utensils. These are amazing to use right along with it. For the 4th of July, they are having a sale. And with one of their ceramic cookware sets, the P600 series, Chefs Foundry is gifting a wonderful, wonderful knife set. These are steak knives, and they are amazing. The One thing I like about these steak knives is they're not thin and dainty. Look at that handle, something you can grip on, because when you're cutting your steak or whatever you have, your lamb chops or what have you, you want to get a good grip and have a good knife. These are amazing. When you're using Chef Foundry's cookware, you can focus on your food and cooking without any worries of what else is leaching into your food. Each skillet in the set also has its own lid. And you can head on over to chefsfoundry.com/Chef Pam to purchase your P600 cookware set and receive a free set of steak knives. Again, that's chefsfoundry.com/Chef Pam. It seems that it works best when you have both baking powder and baking soda, but the cheese is heavy, and I use a lot of cheese in mine because I like it cheesy. That's why we added the vinegar, to help give the baking soda a little kick. So once you put this wet ingredients into the dry ingredients, that vinegar is going to start activating the baking soda, and it needs to be in the heat at that point. So the faster you can get this part done, the better it's going to be, okay? And so therefore, what we need to do is mix our wet ingredients into the dry. We're gonna have to add our zucchini in there. Then we're gonna have to fix it into our pan. If at all possible, we wanna get this done in 5 minutes or less, okay? So that means you have everything that you need in front of you. So you don't have to, oh, I forgot to get the cheese out the refrigerator. No, you need to have everything right here, right now. So that being said, let's go ahead and get our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients. And you can make a well like this if you want to. Wells are great for incorporating. Personally, it doesn't matter. I do it either way. Go ahead and pour that in. Set that aside and start getting it mixed up together. Using a silicone spatula or wooden spoon seems to also work best. Okay, and if you don't have every little bit mixed in, that's fine, because you got to mix the zucchini in as well. So, putting in our zucchini. And mix this quickly. Okay, once that's mixed, grab your baking dish, and we are going to layer this in here, okay? Again, I don't measure. Try not to get it all over the sides of your pan, because you'll need to wipe it off so that it won't burn. Okay, so I put about maybe a third or less. Now, we're going to put, and I use sliced cheese. I am actually using smoked cheddar cheese. That's what's going to give it that smokiness. And I like to put 4 pieces on each layer, okay? That's why we need 12. Going in with some more of our batter. And yes, it's going to seem like it's really full because, well, it is. And I'm gonna turn this piece around, so I put it on there wrong. And it's not really a wrong or right, but it just seems to fit better that way. And the last of our batter. Okay, and now you just want to make sure you spread it out in as much of an even layer as possible, okay? Making sure you get down in those corners. You want the corners to be filled as well. All the way to your edges. Now we're gonna bake this in a 350-degree oven for about, 45 or 50 minutes. I like to check mine at about the 45-minute mark. If you find that your bread is browning a little bit too much, you can just cover the top with a little bit of foil, okay? All right, this is what it should look like going in the oven, and we'll be back. Okay, before we slice, this bread is smelling amazing. Want you all to see the bottom, nice and brown on the bottom part. And ooh, perfect, perfect, perfect. Look at that bread. Doesn't that look amazing? You can see the cheese in there, the zucchini. Oh my goodness. Delicious. Oh my goodness. Look at this bread, y'all. Ooh, look at that. Look at the inside. Doesn't that look amazing? Look at all that cheese on there. Ah. Delicious, delicious, delicious. Ooh. We're gonna do our taste test. Oh my goodness. This is amazing, yes. Woo. If you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today here in my kitchen. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Take a second and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 1.5 million subscribers. My returning subscribers, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And channel members, Pam's Private Pantry people, thank you all so much for your loyal, faithful support. Oh my goodness. Ooh, I'm gonna add a little butter on here. Can't have bread without butter. Ooh, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We had to do a deep shim that time. My favorite. When it comes to zucchini, My favorite. The little hint of garlic in there. This butter. Oh my goodness, I'm putting on a lot of butter. It is delicious. The full recipe will be on my website, pamspreps.com. Measurements and everything else. And I will see you all next time. The good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Bye-bye.